Are you stuck with your turntable sound quality? Well, then probably that's the right video for you, because today we are going to review 3 highly affordable Phono Stage. How they sound, they worth the money. Also compare it to the internal Phono Stage inside your entry-level turntables. Well, today we are going to answer to all these questions. Enjoy the review and please subscribe to the channels to support my work. We already reviewed ifI products like the Hip Deck, and ifI is well known for great value for money products. The ifI Phono is coming with this metal chassis that look absolutely compact, modern, elegant and well finished. On the front we can find the power on off buttons and the subsonic filter, but I will get on it later. In the center we find 4 LEDs that are indicating to us the input selections. The ifI Phono is suitable for cartridges moving coils with output voltage from 0.25 mV up to 2 mV. That means that we have the possibility to choose between 4 gain. On the back panel we can find also the balanced Pentacon output and single-ended RCA input and output. So you have absolutely all you need to run any cartridges. Internal circuits are always very clean. I will let the link in the description so you can look for more details if you would like. 4 stages switchable from the back panels with a gain from 36 dB up to 72. External power supply that has a 5 volt output, so you have to be careful to not connect any 24 volt power supply, otherwise you can damage the device. Actually, I switched the 2 power supply because the AVM P30 is coming with a 24. I connected here, and so from ifI I would like really to see a smaller connector for the 5 volt, something that we had also with the project CD box. I tested, I will let it in the review, the CD box S3 and the DS3, and both are coming with 2 different power supply, with the 5 volt that is a little bit smaller, to avoid something like that. AVM is a consumer electronics company founded in 1988 in Germany. We already saw a beautiful setup at the high-end Munich with this beautiful PCM speaker powered by a full AVM setup. The AVM P30 arrived for the 3rd anniversary of the AVM company. Actually, there is a new upgrade of the device that is the P30.3, but unfortunately I test only this first release. Beautiful aluminum chassis is coming with 3 pairs of resistance to adjust at your taste the moving coil impedance, 100 ohm, 200 ohm and 1 kilo ohm, to be connected on the MC load, but we'll see it later. Elegant design, minimalist, nothing on the front panel. On the back panel we have almost everything. Starting from the left we have the ground, then the moving magnets input, output, on-off buttons and power supply input. Also really compact designs, and yes, unfortunately on-off buttons on the back. So be sure to let the right space for your hand to reach it. Cambridge Audio is well known for great value for money products, and actually I had in the past, when I was running the DALI Rubicon 8, was powered by Cambridge Audio Azure series. I still miss it and I'm really sad that I had to sell it. And today I still have the HNQ streamer, preamp and digital to analog converter on my reference systems. Cambridge Audio Solo is the entry level of Cambridge Audio. As Phono Stage we have the Solo and the Duo. Big difference compared to the ifI Phono and the AVM P30 is that it is only for moving magnet cartridges. Something that in this entry-level price range is for me absolutely not a problem, because on the market we can find absolutely beautiful moving magnet cartridges. Elegant designs, solid, beautiful chassis. We find only the on-off buttons on the front panel and the possibility to adjust the balance between the speaker. Well, it's something that I never used because my speaker positions in the room is pretty symmetrical, but could be really beautiful solutions if you have this type of problem. And in the end we found the power supply that this time is internal. I have to say that I had some noise issue when the first time that I connected the Cambridge Audio Solo. And then I played again on the cables, as I say, when we did the review last times of the Project Maya S3. Also had to work a little bit on this stuff. Really important, Phono Stage is always like that. You can have problem like you could not. Anyway, what really helped me was to use a different power socket. I move it, I change it with another place, bam, problem disappeared. So good to know that may not coming actually from the device. Let me tell you that all three Phono represent a great upgrade for your turntable. All three sound different and that's something really interesting. But before to move on the sound quality, let me show you the setup test. The three Phono stages was tested with three different Phono stages configuration. The new Ergon Audio TT4 fitted with the 2M blue moving magnet cartridges. Next, the dual CS518 fitted with the moving coil Denon 103 cartridge. And in the end, my reference project RPM Carbon 9 fitted with the beautiful ANA SL moving coil cartridges. So I wanted to have a complete overview of the Phono Stage also when fitted with cartridges that have a low gain like the Denon, for example. As integrated amplifier, I used the Rotel AL tripod and a speaker the Q3030E and the triangle RIAA 03. Only in the last test with the project RPM Carbon, I moved to my reference setup with the Sonsfaber Serafino and the Macintosh MC312, only because I wanted to also test the Phono Stage with a highly resolving systems. Anyway, most of the test was done with a highly affordable setup with the Rotel. So first record that I test coming from the Deutsche Grammophon, Joe Williams and Berliner Philharmonic. Just, I think 2022, just new. I have to say though that most of Deutsche Grammophon records that I purchased these years, I didn't really enjoy the quality. I don't know what is happening to Deutsche Grammophon, but I don't know, they lack in dynamic. They are not clean, clear. I really don't know. Anyway, I choose this because I wanted to just test the Phono Stage out from the comfort zone. Just to take a look if they can do something to let a record that may not sound good, sounds better. That's the gold editions, look absolutely stunning, really beautiful. But yes, as sound quality. Anyway, it's a limited editions, also numbered, and absolutely a beautiful jacket. I tested first with the ifI Phono, and the intro applause sounds really natural and realistic compared to the other Phono. Something that I also noticed is a slightly colorations on instruments, really pleasant, make it actually in second track, Olympic fanfare if I'm not wrong, violin sounds sweet and appealing. Overall, compared to the other Phono Stage, with these records I got more a sense of smoothness and spaciousness feeling that remind me sitting in a bigger room rather than one small like mine. I really enjoy the soundstage of the ifI Phono. AVM offer a clean reconstructions of the orchestra with a slightly better separations and imaging. It wasn't thrilling like the ifI Phono, but was definitely more clinic. Moving on the solo, I lost a little bit of spaciousness compared to the ifI Phono and the AVM. I felt that any instrument was more closer, the soundstage was not so much wide. It definitely had a more laid back sounds compared to the two, and I found that was for him slightly difficult to give energy and vibe to a record like that. Second test was done with the Red Hot Chili Peppers Greatest Hits. Beautiful, it sounds really clean. This, unfortunately, the Europe press. I didn't get chance to get the US one and compare it, and I found it slightly bright and fatigue. I don't know you, just let me know in the comments. With the ifI Phono, in Under the Bridge track, Anthony voice has body and presence. Damn, I love these songs. I grew up with this music in 90s and MTV. The drums was not plentiful, but that is probably a press problem. Overall, slightly bright, as I said. Moving on the AVM, the drums was kicking slightly harder, but also here not plentiful, so it's definitely something coming from this Europe press. But it's moving on the solo that things becoming interesting, with voices that are less extended on treble, good grip on the bass but lacking on imaging, that is less defined but also overall less fatigue with this press compared to the other Phono Stage. Something interesting, keep it in mind, we'll speak about it in the conclusion. Probably one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie after Kill Bill. Anyway, great ability of the ifI Phono Stage to bring life, vibe and energy on standard record like that. With the AVM that I found it, in my opinion, too clinic and clean, and the solo too laid back to let me dance in tracks like You Never Can Tell. I didn't tell you, I'm also a dancer. Till now this test was done with the co-acoustic 3030E that is pretty neutral, so I wanted to move to good recordings, jazz music and a more transparent speaker like the Triangle Borea. And I play Sonny Clark, My Conceptions. That's a Tom Poet series, still affordable. We just interview master engineers of this Tom Poet series, Mr. Kevin Gray. I will let it in descriptions, take a look because it's really interesting. Look these jackets, wow, how it sounds. This is probably the Tom Poet series is one of my favorites. It's ultra clean, is affordable, it's cut from analog master tape. And I have to say also, if you don't like jazz music, Blue Train, John Coltrane, test it. Tom Poet series is available in stereo and mono, and just let me know. So the Cambridge solo with Sonny Clark, My Conceptions present a pretty flat tonality, with less contrast on cymbal, but everything was well balanced, with a trumpet that sounds warm and a piano that lacks in articulations and attack. Pretty evident, no blind test needed. AVM I found it perfect also with jazz music, so clean, clinic, and probably my only downside compared to the ifI Phono is less authority in first lower octave, with the ifI Phono that present also slightly more air around instruments and a special nuance on the cymbal. Something really interesting on the ifI Phono that I really enjoyed is the presence of the subsonic filter. And in these records I noticed that especially the drums was slightly too weighty. Enabling the subsonic filter, I found the drums more appealing and still with a good grip. So I really like the possibility to enable or disable the subsonic filter, something not present on the other Phono stages. Sub-bass authority of the ifI Phono stage is something that I noticed also with Coolio Gangsta Paradise. Rest in peace, Coolio. And this is the limited editions for the 25th anniversary. Oh, I managed to get a copy, I was really happy. Beautiful press, it sounds amazing. And definitely with the ifI Phono stage was more punchy, was more deep the bass compared to the AVM that was more soft around edges, and the solo that with these records it sounds to me slightly too much dark. Can I say slightly too much? Probably not. Slightly dark. U2, the best of this UMC, Universal Music Records, and 2018, beautiful copy, beautiful gate and press, highly recommended. This times I moved to another turntables, dual CS 518 fitted with the Denon DL103, moving coil cartridges, low gains. And this times we have to say goodbye to the Cambridge audio solo because that's only moving magnet. But we will meet him again at the conclusions. So interesting test to see if they have enough power to handle a very low signal coming from the Denon DL103. And here I have to say that AVM suffered a little bit. I had to give more power to the Rotel A11 tribute to have the same amount of volume compared to the ifI Phono Stage. Also, Bono voice coming through the ifI Phono Stage, I found it, in my opinions, slightly with more emotions compared to the AVM that was slightly more compressed. In my opinion, the problem is that the AVM is coming only with 200 ohm and 1 kilo ohm resistors. With the 100 kilo ohm that sounds, in my opinion, too bright and fatigue, and the 200 ohm that sounds, in my opinion, too much dull. So yes, probably with a load impedance of 400 ohm, something not present with the AVM, it may help to achieve a better result. Last test comparison between the ifI Phono and the AVM was done with my Project RPM 9 Carbons reference systems. And I play some classic music like this beautiful record decors, but please don't ask me to pronounce this name, I will leave it in the descriptions. I really appreciate the ifI dynamic expressions, particularly on the microdynamics level, that was beyond what is usually attained in this price range point, with a great ability to reproduce the soundstage with authority. AVM presents a good tonality, good textures, imaging, but definitely it lacks a little bit in dynamic compared to the ifI Phono. So in the end, AVM P30 is a really interesting product. His stable performance and clinic reproductions will make most of the speakers shine. It has some small drawback aspects like the on-off buttons only reachable from the back panels, and a limited gain and impedance for very low MC cartridges like the Denon DL103. That doesn't justify, in my opinion, the retail price. Retail price that is pretty not clear. In US, I have no idea. And here in Europe, this one is possible to find it to some retailers at 350 that make it interesting, and others 600 that make it, in my opinion, too much expensive. I'm a fan of Cambridge audio products, but these times I don't know why it doesn't hit me emotionally. I found it slightly dark and slow. For sure it was not vivid like AVM or ifI, but with some records, especially with rock and metal, I found it less fatigue. Something positive, because if you have a setup that you found bright, fatigue, and you want to give a touch of warm sound, then probably the Cambridge Audio Solo is the product for you. ifI Phono Stage, with his highly affordable price, it will bring life to your turntables and your pocket also. It's not clinic like the AVM, but has smoothness and musicality that make it a perfect choice with a varied record collections. I enjoy so much the tonal richness and the mid-range clarity, all quality that you should look for. It's the perfect partner with many cartridges, and the subsonic filter is an extra that in this price range make it absolutely a best buy in his category. So this was my comparison review of the affordable Phono Stages. I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know in the comments what you think about it, and I really appreciate if you take it in consideration to subscribe to the channel. From Audio is everything. See you.